Stromboli ravioli, welcome back.
There you go. You put some.
Did I put that soul back into it?
Yeah, I think that really.
That old time rock and soul.
Oh, nice.
It just soothes
Bum
my
bum
soul.
bum 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 bum.
I'm
Bum bum bum.
glad to see you guys back here.
If you haven't watched the first part, well,
Yeah, go back and watch that.
Put
first
that on
part.
the screen now.
Okay.
Link and take it down now.
Okay. And here we are to talk about the kinks and the chains of our favorite franchises. The flops.
Kinks in the chains.
The,
Kinks in the chains.
The slow cousins.
The slow cousins.
oh,
Ooh. Ooh.
haha,
Ha!
retard joke.
Retardation am funny. I'm David. Retardation am funny.
Well, we love them because they're family, but we would avoid them in public.
Look, she's got her special again. How many times has Ryan fucking got this special?
Ryan's really good at it.
Ryan-
I don't even know what it does.
It
just
expands and like
inflates,
pushes you
yeah.
off the screen. On a stage like this, it's not particularly effective,
Right.
but it's better on like very small and close
the
stages.
moving stages.
Yeah.
So shit games and the franchise. Really.
For my franchise, I think it's obvious. We're going to talk about Zelda 2.
Zondor 6.
Yeah, well, Zondor 6 was one of those classic marketing mistakes. They only
Which one is 6 in the Zelda timeline? Like which one?
In like
What was the
chronologically or
sixth-
6 game release?
Released.
Are we just talking console or
All of them.
including?
All of them.
Probably like Ocarina or Majora.
No, Ocarina is the 4th. Link's Awakening is the 5th. So Majora's Mask.
Oh,
Unless the Oracle games came before Majora's Mask, but I think they came after it.
Yeah, I think they. Well, they came out like the same era as Pokemon because I got Pokemon Red when I got my Aegis.
So Zondor
Oh,
6, we can't talk
So
bad.
it'll be the Oracle games.
We can't talk bad about Zondor 6 because David will just all over that because he loves it.
Well, that's different because because Zelda 1 and 2 are the only ones that got technically Link to the Past got 3. But Zondor 6 was one of those classic marketing mix-ups. It's similar to New Coke. That's why you get that classic The Legend of Zelda. People really like that.
Talk about Zelda 2.
Yeah, please. I'm sorry I broke you with Zondor 6.
This was we made a mistake.
I actually don't mind Zelda 2. Once you get into it, once you get used to how terrible it is, it's like getting into really cold water. You're like, okay, I'm here. I want to be swimming. This is a pool.
You just gotta get into it real fast.
I see a couple Band-Aids floating around.
Right,
you gotta dunk yourself.
You acclimate. You're like, there I am. This isn't gonna get better, so I might as well just enjoy it.
Once the shock sets in, and you're able to ignore it.
You're numb to the pain.
Zelda 2 was a good idea that was very poorly executed.
Yeah. The biggest problem is that they have an experience system that forces you to grind for 20 minutes before you even start playing, which should never have happened. Like, that's not good. Like, I don't mind the idea of leveling up in the game, but there was no point to it.
Yeah. We talked about this in our Zelda playthrough, which you can see here. Okay. We that was your cue to put things on the screen.
Oh, okay.
It's Zelda could have taken 2 different paths, and because of how bad 2 was, the general theme stuck with the idea presented in the first Zelda, which I'm thankful for.
Well, I mean, they didn't even really stick with.
Well, yeah, but that's what drove, like, Link to the Past and the whole idea, which is what heavily influenced Ocarina and the 3D ones, and the 3D ones are heavily influenced by Ocarina. So, in a weird roundabout way, it kind of
really like not talked about in our playthrough. Ocarina of Time sages are all named after the towns from Zelda 2.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, actually a lot of things are brought from Zelda 2 into other games.
Huh.
Everything that was something people liked about it has been seen again. Shadow Link is the main boss.
Zelda 2.
Yeah.
There it is.
So they just managed to take the good parts of that game and spread it across the franchise and just ignore the bad parts. Brit, what would you say is Elder Scrolls?
I personally don't think there's any one. I mean, there's weird games like Battlespire and Adventure Redguard or whatever. I think it's called Adventures Tale of Redguard, something like that. It's some weird DOS game. I wouldn't count those as Elder Scrolls game, even though they are in the series. But I don't think there's one game that really does anything I would consider bad. I think there's a general theme you could view when you go back to like Morrowind, which is my personal favorite game of all time, and then go to like Skyrim. There's a definite dumbing down of the series, which I understand. Like
I can even see that between Oblivion and Skyrim.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's one of the reasons why I don't like Oblivion so much, is because there's so much. But I love Skyrim. There's not as much.
Did you play Oblivion before you played Skyrim?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And you still don't like Oblivion more? Really?
I mean, I like Skyrim more than Oblivion. Oblivion, I think the reason it's so weird, I still love that game and I can go back and play it. I don't think there's anything terribly wrong with it. It's just it's an awkward game, which every game's or every system's life cycle, like the launch titles have the awkward games that don't they try to show off all the skills or all the new new features and shit of the consoles,
newfangled technology.
Yeah, and so I mean, at first glance, when you first played Oblivion, it looked great. The lighting was cool, like it was huge, and then like a year passed.
Horse armor.
Yeah, and then we actually saw what you know, more time with this system could actually accomplish. So Oblivion's known as like this kind of weird fucking lump of a game.
Here's what I think.
What? Sorry. Go ahead.
The thing I think with the Elder Scrolls series, it's not like one game that causes problems. It's like a collection of little things in all of them.
Yeah.
Is what makes them kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's like if you have like a crew in the streets, gonna go rough up somebody, get that money, you know, and you have like that one nerdy guy you pull along with you because like you need somebody to talk to the cops. That's like one game in the series, but like with Elder Scrolls, kind of like everybody's real tough, but they're all kind of like stupid.
Right.
I'm trying real hard to understand what you're trying to.
I'm trying to make a very bad analogy.
Yeah. Basically, Sam, I think is what he was saying. Given that I zoned out completely, is that they bring a lot to the table at first glance, and then some things they're just like a little bit shy on, given things you could compare them to.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Narrative is something they definitely need to work on, and I mean each game is I like to view it as like a fresh start, because it is. It's an entirely new engine. It's an entirely new province. Entirely different like time period. I mean, I think it's 400 years. Skyrim takes place either 200 or 400 years after Oblivion. Oblivion takes only, I think, 4 years after Morrowind. I think that's right. And then the other two games are Arena and Daggerfall. Arena, I called it Arena.
Arena and Durgargur.
They take place way before Morrowind. But they just try everything new, and they kind of redo the formula. They keep like the leveling system and stuff like that, and like I don't know, the general theme and presence of the game stays the same, but they try new things to reimagine it. Like the combat systems are always different, the way you talk to NPCs, and I think they get closer and closer every time to something that's more cohesive and something that's definitely more ambient, and it allows you to get drawn in. Like Skyrim's like, it's so gorgeous and it's so easy to just get lost exploring in Skyrim. But if you go back to Oblivion and you see like NPCs talking to like themselves, pretty much like two of the same voice actors, or I don't know, just weird shit like that. It kind of brings you out of the experience. So I think with every game they improve on that.
Right.
and every game I think was more of a success than the last game, financially at least. But I think they're just trying to broaden it too wide and too fast. I think they're underestimating their audience.
Yeah. And there are a lot of issues with having your NPCs, because like in Oblivion, I don't know if I really noticed, or maybe I just didn't care that you would have people just chatting to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But in Skyrim, it was like there were two conversations that one character would have, and when you walk through a town, you would hear that character say the thing.
Oh yeah.
And then when you were walking back,
Our very lives.
they would be saying, well, for him, that character, that actually made sense. Like, if he was the only character that did that in the game, it would make sense, because he's got a rehearsed, like, speech that he's doing.
Sure.
But, like, everyone else, it's like you walk by and they say the same thing. Like, the guy...
Lived here all my life. Cold as a mortar. But that just grows the beard thicker.
It seems everyone's obsessed with death. Like, you hear that every time. I know what the problem with Skyrim is. Everyone's so obsessed with death. I get it, guy. Could you say just one more line of dialogue? That would be fantastic.
No, I think because one I'm not going to talk about Kingdom Hearts because it's kind of it's similar to Elder Scrolls, and it's kind of hard to
they're
pick.
like the same game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to pick a game and say this is the weak one, because it's like it's kind of like it's a collection of issues.
Well, actually, I'd like to say I might be interested in playing the new Kingdom Hearts, because now Disney has Marvel and Star Wars. Those games might have actually interesting characters.
Shut the fuck up, David. Get the fuck out of here.
Sora.
Fucking asshole.
Sora.
And
Diffie Duke.
Sora, first of all, Sora is an interesting character. So is Riku. And I've never been more emotionally invested in Donald Duck and Goofy Goof in my entire fucking life. You take your shit and you get out of here.
I love Disney.
Oh my god.
I love the idea of it.
It's a cheery game.
It's a cheery game,
but
it's a cheery game, but
there's like a lot of
It's like listening.
Yeah, there's a lot of darkness to it.
Surprisingly dark.
It's like listening to Jason Mraz. It's like, what the fuck are you so happy about? Stop.
Yeah.
Fucking quit. Quit
It's
your
like,
smiling.
It's like Kingdom Hearts is like Kingdom Hearts is like you go into it expecting to listen to Jason Mraz, and then you come out of it.
Some shit happens.
And then some shit happens, and you come out of it listening to Sound of Silence.
Yeah, like all of a sudden there's like a fucking the Smiths start playing. It's
yeah,
like, wait.
That's pretty much how that's my musical analogy for the day.
I like it.
In with Jason Mraz, out with the Smiths. But one of like a very specific example I can pinpoint is one of my other favorite series. Number 2, I suppose, on the list would be Fallout. Another Bethesda game.
New Vegas.
New Vegas is not a good game.
I have the collector's edition.
That sucks.
It came with some cool shit.
I'm sure it did. You get like the poker chip and
the poker chips from the different casinos across New Vegas, and then also a deck of cards with different characters. Yeah.
I don't know. It was just so... And I can't blame Bethesda for this one because it's Obsidian.
It was just their assets.
Yeah. They literally just used the engine and the assets, but it was this Obsidian doing a terrible job as always. Yeah.
They did pretty good with KOTOR 2. I liked KOTOR, except the fucking beginning. Fuck that shit.
You know,
KOTOR 2 made me very sad.
It's
as a human, like in my heart, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Loved KOTOR.
You didn't like KOTOR 2?
No.
It just had a shitty beginning. The characters were great. Atton Rand. Wait, keep going about New Vegas. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's just not that good.
It isn't. New Vegas itself was the biggest disappointment.
Here's the thing. Like, I was expecting so much. Like you got Wayne Newton is doing your radio program. And you're like, I'm gonna walk into this like awesome Vegas strip, and it's just the most like watered down, depressing piece of shit.
And Matthew Perry was in it. He was the best part of that fucking game.
Wasn't Matthew Perry technically the main villain of the game?
No, I mean he was Benny, the guy
he was the one who shot you in the head.
Yeah, but also he is just like a player. He's not really.
Yeah, you're right.
He was trying to take control of New Vegas, but I mean, he's just not really.
Damn it, Chandler.
Yeah.
But it's just not that great of a game. Like, I don't think the characters are as...
I like Arcade Ganon was cool.
Arcade's pretty cool, but, like, other than that...
Yeah.
Like, Benny was okay, I guess. But, like, it's just... The characters were very flat. The world wasn't nearly as special, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't feel invested in the world. One of the coolest things, one of my favorite moments in video games ever, like visually, was in Fallout 3 when you walk out of the vault for the first time and you see like the landscape and what you're walking into. They tried to do it with New Vegas at the beginning when you walk out of the house. It's just not the same. It's not the same. There's nothing familiar because like when you walk out of the vault, you can see DC in the distance.
Yeah.
Like you can see, is it the White House you can see or something?
It might be the Washington
Monument. The monument, yeah, the
like,
monument. You can just see it and there's like, oh wow, I can go all the way over there and that's something I recognize and this, that.
Yeah.
You walk out into New Vegas and you're like,
it's just
desert.
It's just fucking Mojave. Who cares?
I don't think I've ever walked out of the vault.
Really?
In Fallout?
I haven't played it.
Oh,
so
well. Yeah, I mean, it's like saying I've never gotten the Master Sword. I've never played The Legend of Zelda.
But I just think that the only bit of Fallout that I've actually had the controller for was in the vault, but I haven't walked out.
You would like it.
You would like it. I think you should at least play it and walk out of the vault so you can see. That moment's what fueled me to keep going.
It's very rough around the edges, though.
It is. Oh, absolutely.
It's aged.
I've been
go ahead.
watching Brit play, and he's just having a good old time.
Yeah, dude, I'm reliving it.
He's like just having a little heyday over in
well, it's really fun.
I did get lost in fucking Vault 106, and I got really pissed off.
Yeah, he was like, "How do we get out?"
It took me like half an hour to find out the entrance was behind me.
So if you're in Vault 106, little fun fact, the entrance is behind you. Go ahead. Go ahead and say what you were gonna say.
I don't even remember what I was going to say. It's I don't know. It fueled me to keep on going. New Vegas was just, I forced myself to play it because, you know, it's Fallout.
Yeah.
And I beat it.
You had to.
And I beat it, but I was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
All right.
I did want to go back and say, officially, if I were to pick a weak link in the Elder Scrolls series, I'd say Skyrim.
You'd say Skyrim?
Mm-hmm. I'd say Skyrim because of they talked up a lot of like the features they talked up were the biggest downfalls of the game. The Radiant quests, where it's pretty much making the game endless quotation marks, worst. The worst. It is pretty. You go to a guy, he says, "Go here." You go there, kill guys, come back.
Yeah.
And he just does that infinitely.
Well,
it's stupid.
Yeah. What I liked, this is what upset me. I was just walking around, minding my own business. Guy comes up and he's like, "Hey, hold on to this weapon. Don't tell anyone where I went." Goes over and he hides behind a tree. Then a guard comes up and he's like, "I'm looking for a guy. You seen him?" And I'm like, yeah, he's over there." And I was like, that's kind of cool. And then as soon as they started fighting, which was forever, you have to intervene and kill at least one of them. I walked away, and then a guy comes up and gives me a bow and goes, "Hey, don't tell anyone where I got this." And then a different guard comes up and is like, "Hey, have you seen a person?" I'm like, "Hold on." And that happened 4 times in a row because I was in the spot where that's supposed to happen when you walk through, and I kept triggering it.
Oh my god.
I kept triggering an NPC to come up and do that.
Silly.
And I was like, they should not have put like a permanent trigger. It should have like triggered, and then that spot should have just jumped to somewhere else on the map so that I would be a long time till I see it. Yeah.
Also the puzzles.
Right.
The thing about I agree with you, and that is because it's I don't know, it's just a simpler game.
Yeah. No, it's great. I love it. It's a fantastic game. And I think it did a lot of things right. And I think it is a step in the right direction for the series, but it lost a lot of the heart and soul. Like if you go back and play Morrowind, like I fucking swear up and down that is the best adventure game of all time. It's like
Morrowind's great. I love
the
Morrowind.
seat of your fucking whip, man, or whatever. I don't know what the fucking saying is, but you trail your own blaze, dude.
On that note,
we will see you guys right after the break.
Right after this, on the trail we blaze.
On the twilight's last gleaming.
America.